Okay. Boys.
I need my dop.
I also need a dope. Tell me, do you have a dope?
I don't. I also need one.
Also, can you get your face more center and higher? You look from my screen, that's better. Yeah. My screen, you look like you were loving like this now.
Been sitting at my desk for a long time today.
Okay, I'm gonna get a drink quickly.
Okay, me too. Okay, I'm just gonna do something for work. I'm getting one.
No. Well, it is recording, but we haven't started.
Right, go.
We're not going to be long. Serie dogs.
Diona wat die heilig.
Oh, nee, wat die ketkalise eie toe nie lekker nie.
Aua. Anything.
My bro.
How just was that game?
Skak.
The twists and turns and emotions of game one. Anyway, we'll get to that when we.
I must say, like, yeah. While we're waiting to start.
Okay, Timmy's here. Let's start. Whatever's on your mind, start with that. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the NBA SA show. The NBA Finals is here. Look, what was on your mind, pal? Before we went live.
So, I didn't think I'd be as invested. I mean, I like Golden State. I like a lot of teams in the NBA. So, certain teams irritate me when they do well. Not many teams excite me when they do well. And I must say that watching last night's game, I was actually nervous. I was tense. I was like, when Jordan Poole made a mistake, I was like, this motherfucker, get him off the court. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that I bought into the excitement of the finals. It was like, that's why I'm doing this. I'm speaking as a fan right now.
Yeah. I'll speak as a fan. Tell
us how you really feel, Wiz. Tell us how you really feel.
Let me tell you how I feel, man.
Sisa.
Even though
I don't know why you're getting excited about that topic.
Tell you why.
Please do.
Because if anything about this brah has taught us is that if he has an off game, the next one is sticking it.
I'm not sure that always means that they win, but I think you're right about the numbers.
Yeah. But we'll have to wait and see. Weirder things have happened.
So now we finished being a fan. We finished being a fan.
No.
Are we done?
My only point of reference is a fan. I never give actual logical predictions. That's why I lose so much beer.
I know. Listen, fellas, let's start with the Steph Curry's super hot fire start that you would dream of starting in a game one. And then what seemed like the flame just got dimmer and dimmer and dimmer. To me, from a non-Golden State fan, how did you feel about that? Steph Curry start to finish?
Maybe just two things. Remember, I still have a pick, right? I still pick Golden State to win. Overall, right?
Oh, yeah.
But I picked the Celtics to win game one.
You did.
So I was conflicted the whole fucking game. I was quiet. I started complaining about how badly Jason Tatum was playing. And then they were quiet and they won. And I was quiet afterwards. I'm like, but is my overall pick gonna work?
It's like fantasy play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But look, as a non-fan, I love that game. I love the ebbs and flows. I love that Steph did well in the beginning. I love the fact that the Celtics adjusted on the fly, on offense and on defense. I think the right two teams made it to the finals, and I think that they're going to be punches and counter punches, and like I couldn't be happier with the start. I think that's great because somehow if Golden State had won game 1 and then game 2, then I think this would have sizzled out.
Yeah.
Kirk, your thoughts, seeing as them pretty much ignored my question. So
the fact that
it was a good question, but the question you really wanted to ask.
Yes.
But what is your thoughts?
But how did the Mavs not make it?
Really what the Mavs need a big man.
Away.
It made me forget what I was going to say. What I was going to say was the fact that Golden State lost game 1 puts the series in uncertainty. So if they had won game 1, there would be an air of inevitability about it. And it would feel like Celtics were in a corner. Although, I mean, Celtics have proven that they're able to bounce back and right their ship quite frequently throughout a series. It just makes it unknown now because Golden State have always controlled a series. But interestingly, I was thinking about it, and Golden State have ever only beaten Cleveland in the finals. They haven't beaten any other team for a title. So this is new territory for them, because they know LeBron and the Cavs. They circle with other teams in the finals.
Interesting.
Yeah. So just to go back on my predictions, just to recap. So I said Tatum would struggle in game 1. And my reason for saying that was because watching the Celtics Heat's last 2 games of that series, Celtics do it. Tatum is actually the head of the Celtics snake, and all their offense initiates with the ball in his hands. And typically the way Golden State would counter that would be they would make sure he doesn't get to initiate the offense, or he doesn't get his shots to cause them to counter that, to open up. And for 3 quarters, and actually for exactly 3 quarters, they were able to do that. And then they couldn't in the 4th quarter. So I think that he's going to struggle throughout the series. He'll find ways to get ease, I think, but ultimately I think he's going to battle to find any long periods of success in the series. My other call was Al Horford. I said he was in a circle. That is a stupid thing to say because he's an old dog, and old dogs are cool under pressure. How do you like that shady through it?
Yeah, back at you.
So the reason I thought that he was going to struggle was because watching his post-match interviews after the Eastern Conference Finals, he seemed like he was very satisfied with where he was at the moment, and I thought
happy to be there.
It looked like he wasn't gonna be locked in, but he's an old vet, and that is a stupid thing to do. You know, the old guys know how to get themselves ready for games. You saw that with Otto Porter. You see how Lionel Richie was dancing on the dance floor, brother. So one more, and I said Wig was gonna have a good game. He had an okay game. He had a decent game. I think he was actually the best of the others. So yeah, Jordan Poole needs to sort himself out because he looks like he's overwhelmed by the occasion. But all that being said, Golden State didn't play badly. They fell short in the fourth quarter because they stopped running plays, they stopped movement, they stopped running off picks. They just played iso ball. They gave the ball to Steph. He tried to create. He couldn't. He passed to somebody else who tried to create. It really just disintegrated into a ISO game for Golden State. I don't think the Celtics had a lot to do with that. It felt like the Golden State just capitulated and did it. They pulled the Golden State.
They did. It did help
Yeah.
that.
And that gave Celtics fire, and
and
Celtics smelled it, and that gave them confidence, and they fucking made everything. I mean, there were some hard contested threes that they fucking made. It was insane.
Marcus Smart, Al Horford, and Derek White shot 15 of 23 threes.
Yeah.
15 of 23
Yeah.
threes.
So
They
besides
just turned into NBA Jam. He's on fire.
besides the starting five of Celtics, 3 other players scored. So only 8 players scored for Boston.
But in the finals, isn't that normal? In the finals, general rotation is 8, maybe 9.
But I mean, come on, your 4 others don't score 0.
It's at least a 2.
Yeah.
And wait,
Tough one.
you definitely should mention Jaylen Brown was great in the first half.
That is my other call. I
He
called
kept
Jaylen
him
Brown
ticking
is gonna
over.
have- Yeah,
He
I
really
called
was
Jaylen
good.
Brown is gonna have a big game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Tim, for
Yeah, no, coming back to the Jason Tatum thing, I think he didn't have a bad game. I think he had a great game. He just shot badly. And I think that will automatically change come the next game. And he will be much better in terms of the points tally. But besides points, Jason Tatum affected almost every other. He was fantastic on defense.
But again,
He had
as Timmy, sorry to cut you short, as Timmy pointed out last night, you can say
No, you go ahead.
Timmy, as Timmy rightly pointed out, Tatum only started assisting because he was doing fuck all else. So he had to pass. If his shots were dropping, he wasn't gonna pass that shit.
So if your definition of he had a great game, right, but reducing his ego and standing in the corner, then yes, he had a fantastic game. Well done. And actually, as much as I'm making cut, I respect him more for doing that. Right?
Yes.
If you're the man, right, and things aren't going your way, generally, especially if you're getting paid 40 million a year, generally the default is, well, give me the ball again because I'm going to do it now. Well, I missed it, I'm going to, right? So it takes a lot to get out of the way and appreciate that everybody else can do it, right? And he did, and actually I've got more respect to him before that. So I got mad respect to him. And in the fourth quarter, he actually started hitting people because he was standing off. And that's great. Yeah? But let's not go too far and say he had a great game because he didn't. He just made some good decisions at the end.
To get himself out of a funk.
Teammates go. Cool. Yeah. Slow your roll, man.
Okay.
Slow your fucking roll.
Let's
Yeah,
move.
if they had lost, we'd have been singing a totally different song.
Yeah.
Good point.
Fair. Let's move on to the other Splash brother. What do we think of Clay and his game? Kirk?
I actually assumed he'd do well, but taking a step back and thinking of his journey, there was a big hype around he's back in the finals and blah blah blah. And I think it was just an emotional night for him, and the emotions got to him. I think he'll come out in game 2. He's gonna be Clay.
They must just lie to him. They must lie to him. Every time they go out, they say, "What game is it? It's game 6."
Yeah. Tell me your thoughts on Clay.
You forget these people are human, and he's come through a very tough 2 years and getting back to. Imagine that you fucking The last time you played, you in the finals. Next time you play, you make the finals. How fucking crazy must that be?
Yeah. Overwhelming almost.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. Tell me your thoughts.
Look, my thoughts on Clay when he started playing the previous series against Dallas was I wanted him to get the ball. I want to give him the ball, don't give it to Jordan Poole, right? And the reality is that experience and class go out, and he scorched the Mavs, especially when he wasn't forcing things.
Yeah.
Right. I don't have a lot of bad things to say about the Golden State guys because for the 3 quarters, right, they had a game under complete control. Right, they controlled it. Then they had a bad 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Fine. Right. I'm still very comfortable. Like, I'm happy that my game 1 prediction was right. I'm very comfortable in picking Golden State overall. Right. Because the Boston role players can't possibly be as good as what they are for another 4 or 5 games. Right. And it's unlikely. We know Golden State has these mental lapses, right? But they don't have these mental lapses every game. Yeah. And so it'll happen every few games. Just happen to be this game. Right, they'll be fine. Also, I suppose maybe just a couple of things to remember: the Celtics in the playoffs are better away than they are at home.
Yeah.
You know, with like 8-2 on the road. 8.
That's stupid. In the playoffs.
Madness. Do you know what that means?
Yeah.
They can't win a fucking game at home.
So they must win game 2.
Yeah, otherwise. Yeah, I think it's I wouldn't worry about Clay. Don't worry about Clay. So long as he's not forcing the ball, be very afraid if you're a Celtics fan. If he starts forcing shots and dribbling too much, then he's in trouble. Then Golden State's in trouble.
But I mean, for 3 quarters, they didn't need to do that. They were spreading the ball. They were swinging the ball. He was getting his shots. He just didn't make them. Actually, he didn't take many shots.
No.
Come to think of it, he didn't take many shots.
They're going to be fine.
Yeah.
What I would maybe worry about as a Celtics fan is Looney looked good. Looney looks like a real problem for some reason.
Yeah.
Right? It's crashing the ball. Like, that guy shouldn't be your problem.
Yeah. It's his timing and the way he crashes the offensive board is scary.
Yeah. And that's even with Robert Williams on the court. Like,
I was about to say, he made him look normal.
Exactly. I would, if I was a Celtics fan, like, I would like be very happy with the win. I'd be worried about that. Right, I really would be. Like, it's something that's going to start generating second, third opportunity shots. The last thing you want to give that team is more opportunity. Yeah. Even Draymond Green apparently got 3 offensive rebounds. Right, it's odd because they're a small team and a bad rebounding team. Right, and what was interesting is I think the Celtics adjusted, right, because eventually they took Williams off and then they went small. Right, so they outsmalled the Warriors, which is kind of weird. And then they outshot the Warriors on top of it. So they, actually, you know what? Remember the last finals when the LeBron, the Lakers were playing Miami, right? And I think it was game 1 or something. And Jimmy Butler had a monster game, right? And they were like, "Yo, this guy, you out LeBron." Yeah. And you know what happened after that? You want fuck all else. You can only be me once by mistake. And then after that. Yeah. Anyway.
So you both are really confident that Golden State will come back and take this?
I think Golden State takes game 2. I think Golden State takes game 2.
I feel quite differently. I won't lie.
It's nothing to do with your vest.
No. Like just reflecting on what they had to do to get to the finals, right? Where they are at, like in terms of their career. So one of the reasons why I thought Jason Tatum would have a good season was I thought he'd lost enough. He lost at the highest level enough. And I thought, now you know how older, you've been in the league long enough. I think he will have a good season. Now, reflecting on where they're at in the finals, and I go, okay, cool. So where would I believe the Celtics' head would be at? I think they're hungrier to win. And I think I really give them a chance at winning it in 7, just on the mental aspect of the finals. and Al Horford being experienced, and the fact that we all agree that Golden State can have these type of runs. And in this case, this type of bad 10 minutes cost them the whole game. And the Celtics, I feel, are a good enough, strong enough, battle-tested enough team who could take on this Warriors warrior that's about to come at them in game 2, 3, and game 4. And I actually think the Celtics could do it. I think they could win it.
Do you know what I hear there, Kirk? Pira.
I wish. Okay, I'm down.
Let's go game by game.
Jesus.
A
Okay.
six-pack a game. I'm
This
betting
guy.
that Golden State is going to take game 2, 1 6-pack on the table. I already told them here 6-pack for game 1. I'm putting another 6-pack on the table for game 2. I've got a whole 2 cases of Lemos here that I need to get rid of.
Okay. Okay. Even though I believe that Golden State should win it, I feel
There's no shame in being bang to make a bet.
I think. Now, hear me out. I actually think Boston are the type of team that could win 2 away games and then go and lose 2 home games. So I think Boston win game 2.
Okay.
Bet
2 6-packs.
one. Stop it.
But wait, is it one with Kirk and one with me?
Yeah, I'm down. Might as well. Because if I lose, I might as well lose. If I win, might as well win double. All right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
go with that. Yes.
Double nothing. Away. So, not to make it too much of a long thing, quick predictions for game 2. If you could predict it in a minute and a half. Think about it for a little bit while I give you my minute and a half for game 2. I think Jason Tatum scores 35, 8 assists, 5 rebounds. I think that's the type of night Jason Tatum's going to have. I think Klay Thompson scores 20. I think Klay scores in the 20s. And I see them lose because nobody else shows up. That's my prediction. Boston, everybody will score even numbers in the teens. And that's why we'll win.
It's my we now,
Jimmy?
maybe.
Well, I've got a lot of beer on the line now. It's now we now. It might as well be me.
You're gonna get a ring. You're gonna get a ring after this.
I mean, I've been a Golden State admirer for a long time, and I still don't say we.
Dude, I told you, I love everyone. But in this series, I'm a Celtic pal. In this series, I'm a Moose Celtic. All right. Who wants to go first, fellas? Your quick soliloquy of game 2.
Okay, I'll go. So I agree. Klay will have a big game. Steph will have a normal game. I think Draymond Green is gonna have a good game. He gets a double-double. Doesn't he get a double-double every game?
But actually, a double with what though? Assists,
Rebounds, and assists.
not scoring.
Nah, he's not. If he scores, he's gonna get a triple-double. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Jaylen Brown will be big again. Derek White was a surprise, but also not so much a surprise. Remember, I spoke about him in his shooting routines and how well he shoots in his shooting routines, and it's paying off. All that hard work.
Every time I hear one of those commentators say, "Well, he's making them," that's a surprise. I'm like, "Well, you should have put Kirk."
No, watch him practice.
Yeah. All don't lie.
It's so weird how we spoke about him. Actually, the reason we spoke about him was because he had just moved to Boston, and I was watching a Boston game, and I saw him doing his warm-ups there, and it stood out. That was pretty weird. But yeah, I mean, fuck it, he's picking up. I think he'll be again quietly efficient. Horford is not going to have the game he had. and that's going to be the difference, I think. And I think Golden State will take it.
I suppose similar flavors. Again, I'm gonna be consistent, and the law of averages is gonna come through, right? Rather than the law of form. The reality is that I think Tatum's individual scores are gonna go up, right? You must be mad. There's no chance that he's gonna get 8 assists, right? If he gets 5, it'll be a lot. I think Jaylen Brown will actually continue to do well. I think that Horford, White, and Marcus Smart all are coming down to earth. Yeah. And so I don't think Horford scores more than 12. I don't think Derek White scores more than 12. And I think Marcus Smart might take 20 shots, but he also might only score 15 points. I think he'll go back to being inefficient. Yeah. I think that Green is going to have a proper big game, right? I think that he might flirt with a triple double, no doubt. I actually think that Wiggins is going to be the difference maker in game 2, right? I think that everybody is going to be attracted to the space that Steph and Clay suck up, and Wiggins has made all the right decisions. Even in the first half, there were a couple of times where he tacked the basket, and I thought, here comes another Luka moment, right?
Yeah.
There was one where he created mad contact, and they didn't call a foul.
Yes,
right? And he finished
yeah.
through it.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to be the difference maker, and actually I think Warriors are going to walk away with a 15-point win at the end of game 2, and then I'm gonna put my head down now. I believe the Golden State are going to take game 3 as well.
You know what is interesting about game 1? There was a period where they played a lineup that was such a strange lineup. I mean, they had
messaging on the time.
Yeah. They had Iggy on the floor. I think they had Otto Porter on the floor.
Yeah.
They had it was such a weird lineup, and I think that sort of messed with their rhythm, because they were trying to work Iggy back, and yeah, I mean, it messes with your flow throughout the whole season. Throughout the whole playoffs, you're playing in a certain rhythm, and now you try to chop and change.
Iggy and Porter. And I think Poole was in the game at the same time. Remember, Iggy and Porter didn't play in the back end of the last series in any event. Yeah.
You think? Yeah, I think Iggy was only put in for payday. I think it was payday. I think it's the finals. I think all the media's there. I think he wants to retire on a high, and at least if they do go all the way and win it, I was in the finals. It's payday.
Look,
give him a few minutes.
I think it's more a long-term thought process, because at some point they're going to need him to play defense in the series, right? Mm-hmm. And with him getting some game minutes under his belt, he'll slot into his normal rotation that he would have had in previous years, and there would be a more familiar feel about it. So I think
Boston.
I mean, they were comfortable in that game. They could take those sort of risks. It just backfired.
Yeah. If Boston wins game 2, you think Iggy will play in game 3?
Depending on how well he does in game 2.
Fair.
In terms of his what he brings to the table, he's not going to score you 15 points. I mean, he'll make 1 or 2 timely threes. He'll get a stop here and there. He'll control. You'll be the vocal one, running the defense. So yeah, like a Dre.
All right, boys. Shot. This was exciting. And now
I can't wait for game 2.
It's like Monday morning.
In 2 games to have 2 6-packs.
Don't talk too soon now. Don't talk too soon.
Yesterday I was chatting in one of my groups, and a basketball player was like, "Nah, I'm not going to wake up for tonight's game." I was like, "Bruh, this is like the most important time in the basketball calendar. Like, how could you not wake up and watch this game? Are you just?" This
When
is
you subscribe to NBA.com, pal, and you're off social media, you can watch that game anytime, bro. It's live all the time.
nice.
It's not the same. You don't go through the same emotions.
Uh-uh.
You don't go through the same emotions.
Especially when the brass are watching it and you're
True.
talking back. That's the best.
True.
Did you see how quiet Nigel was? I was supporting the Celtics. Nigel was still quiet with me.
That's the squad for everyone. Anyway, fellas, have a fantastic weekend. See you for game 2. I'll watch it live, Kurt. I promise.
Quite.
Cheers, fellas.
Okay.
See you.
Peace out.
Goodbye.